and snap. Snap it up, rack it up, before it's too late.
Let's go! Clap it up, everybody. Clap it up. Let's see those hands. We're playing. We watched a movie.
What movie did we watch?
Let's talk about it. All right, tonight we're talking about Autofocus, 2002 film, a beautiful piece of cinema. And joined as always on the Fishy Film Fridays, you've got two of my esteemed guests who have joined me as the permanent host and two guests. We've got Jay Red calling in from
Ohio.
places unknown. Ohio.
Okay. Unknown.
There's some Ohio representation in this film. Did you catch that?
Oh.
Well, I think I don't really.
Did they go there on the tour at one point or something?
I think so.
Yeah, he does his dinner theater in Columbus at one point.
Sick.
And we're also joined by Danny Ocean again.
Hello, what's up, everyone? I know you missed me.
Danny, you ever been to dinner theater?
Fuck no.
Have you ever
There's so many
filmed yourself?
Okay, let's get right into it. I would go to strip clubs if they were playing jazz at the strip club.
Oh, yes. This
Interesting.
What happened to this age of strip club classiness?
Those strip clubs looked incredible. They're actually dancing. It's not just sex.
It was artistic, and the music was amazing. The cocktails looked great. I'm sure the dining was great. I didn't get really dive into the
certainly
dining.
felt more burlesque.
Great fish.
It felt more burlesque.
A little burlesque, but the jazz music with like the quartet, like I would go there and not even no cap. I would go there just to listen to the music.
Well, it's interesting. It felt early, it was the 60s, but I didn't expect those places to exist like that still. It could have been the 20s.
Why did Mad Men never had that? Do you think this was like an
LA
thing?
Yeah, they did.
But was
Mad
it
Men, they go to like the Playboy Bunnies club or whatever.
Okay, I'm trying. Maybe I just.
This did feel like a real crash course in the 60s for me.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, let's just fucking really get into it. I don't even think I've seen an episode of Hogan's Heroes before.
Yes, not neither.
Hogan's Heroes slaps. None of you ever watched that growing up. It was like always on reruns.
Maybe it's because of the Nazi thing that me and John weren't exposed to it.
Yeah, but this was like on reruns.
It's like garbage TV.
Yeah, it was more like a MASH household.
Let me just
MASH after that.
MASH
was after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get into this. Okay. Autofocus, 2002. This film is about Bob Crane. I picked another biopic.
Oh, good point.
I enjoy a good biopic. It stars Greg Kinnear.
That's a kind of take for me, honestly. But yeah, continue.
He starts off, he's a charming radio host, family man. This is set in 1960s Los Angeles. We see him as he gets his big break on CBS, joins this lead sitcom set in a German POW camp called Hogan's Heroes. And we see his life spiral after his, he makes an inappropriate friendship with John Carpenter, played by Willem Dafoe. And we really see how things spiral out of control into the 70s as he becomes addicted to sex and pornography and mostly sin. And so we're really going to dive into this. And it really ends in tragedy as he's bludgeoned to death, as the film claims, by John Carpenter, his good friend, in the late 70s, I guess. But did you guys know about this
all-time great crash outs?
Right. Yeah. Top 5. Did you guys know about? Well, you didn't know about Hogan's Heroes. I'm guessing you guys didn't know about this.
No idea about Bob Crane and his good old pornography addiction.
I had to look it up afterwards to understand. Like I didn't even at the end of the film. I was like, was that real? And then I was like, oh my god, that was real.
Yeah. There's some questions about whether or not
this is another example of a memory hold event that you picked that's unearthed by film.
True.
The other one being Gimme Shelter.
It's also tough. So I was trying to find supposedly his whole collection of like homemade pornography and this like unconsensual filming that he did to a lot of people. There was a web line that his son Scotty was running for a couple decades, and then it like went offline in 2013.
What do you mean a web line? He had the website,
A
with it
website.
up?
He had a website. He actually like digitized and like you could buy this stuff, like buy his collection.
Yeah, I
Isn't
saw
that, like,
that on
against
Wikipedia
the
as well.
law? I didn't see that on Wikipedia.
I'm sure there was probably some legal implications. I didn't get to do the deep dive of why it got taken down, but I'm sure if I did a deeper web search, which I don't know if I really wanted that on incognito even at this point.
Yeah, like looking for that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into the beginning though before Bob sort of falls down the rabbit hole. It's 1964. It's Bob Crane. He works for this radio station KNX, and we learn he's got this little idyllic lifestyle. You know, he's a goofy radio man who's always wanted to make an impression. He says some line like he's like, "I'm a likable guy," and you know he's a
Yep.
church going man. We see a lot of good church representation.
A lot.
I believe he was Catholic.
He was.
Give me
That
the
was
confirmation
Catholic
on that.
Mass.
A lot of Catholic stuff.
There
in
is some
this.
great Catholic stuff. We can hit that up in a bit if you want. But I would like to let me hit up this because we do get the Catholic scene pretty early when they're at Mass. So are you guys familiar with the profession of faith prayer?
Oh my God, this guy! Stop with the Catholicism.
What
I'm
is
done.
profession of faith prayer?
Okay,
I
I'm
believe in God,
interested.
the Father Almighty, blah 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 blah.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all things visible and invisible. I believe in one Lord Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God, born of the Father before all ages, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, consubstantial with the Father. Through him all things were made. For us men in our salvation, he came down from heaven, and the Holy Spirit was incarnate of the Virgin Mary and became
I like how
man.
you're reading it off the screen too, like you don't
For
even
our
know.
sake, he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. He suffered, died, was buried, and rose again on the third day in accordance with the Scriptures. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in glory to judge the living and dead.
Yeah, he'll
His
come
kingdom
again
will
in
have
glory. You got that right.
no end. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and Son, who with the Father and Son is adored and glorified, who has spoken through the prophets. I believe in one holy Catholic
Can we play this on 2x speed
Apostolic
when
Church.
it gets
I
posted?
confess one baptism for the forgiveness of sins. I look forward to the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen. That I thought was so. They kept almost the entirety of that prayer in the movie, and
They did.
Yes.
Well, so
I don't
Paul
remember it
Schrader,
going on
let's get
that
into
long.
the fact that I can't believe we haven't mentioned the director yet. Paul Schrader, one of my all-time favorites.
Yes.
And
One of the
he
last
is
great.
known for
known?
his religious imagery in his films.
Oh.
But
Like, think about First Reformed.
I never saw it.
I didn't see it
Are
either.
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I got to see it, but I just haven't seen it yet.
Now I feel guilty.
Jared, have you?
No.
Okay.
But okay,
It's gonna
he
be
used
bad.
this as a plot device, and I love this at the beginning because I had a feeling this was going to happen. Is that the profession of faith is talking about very much like the downfall of man and how you like need to go back to Jesus and God to like for forgiveness and try to understand like he died for your sins, and yet like this man is professing his faith at the beginning, yet through the rest of it never truly feels guilt until like occasionally pressured and eventually just tries to justify all of his means throughout his life after both wives leave him. And it could be in like the fallen of grace from the church.
You really busted your load early here, Jared. John,
No, I
let's
love
do
it
the
because they busted their load early, and because the moment I saw Bob Crane and I saw like because I think they talked about his collection of like artistic pictures, his Polaroids that his wife found before we knew how big.
He's
of a
into
sex addict
photography.
he is. Like that's where I'm like, I see what path this is about to go down.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I think that was a forewarning early in the film.
Very beautifully given too, because I think a lot of people might not even suspected that. Because you might have just been, we're just trying to set the tone. He's a Catholic man, and his family's at Mass. There's more to it.
But he's actually, he's not listening to that prayer close enough.
Yeah, crazy.
Good point.
Crazy stuff.
So he's a church-going man. He's got a family, three beautiful little rugrats that don't really say much, but they do actually. There's one good line by his son later on. We'll touch on that in a minute. But he's meeting with his agent. He gets this big deal to be on Hogan's Heroes, but he's nervous about it because it is sort of an off-color concept.
We're only 20 years after World War II.
Right, little fresh wounds. and he brings it home to his wife Anne, and she's like, "Oh, you're working towards this Holocaust comedy." Um, she mentions that she's followed Bob from job to job, but um,
Yep.
why would you do this? This is going to ruin your career. Ends up reading the script. He finds it funny, and he's like, I'm going to do it and work at KNX on the side for the time being. It's like, oh, this could be his big break. He's going to be the star lead. Um,
And it kind of is his big break.
it is
It's
his
his
big
only
break. He
break. Yeah.
does the
Yeah, only
table
break.
read. Does his table read. He like films it. He's killing it. There's a pool party afterwards. He orders a grapefruit juice. He's a teetotaler. What's the
Yeah,
Doesn't
the
like
phrase?
grapefruit
drinking
juice is
alcohol.
funny
Yeah.
thing. That thing is a funny. Like drinking that much grapefruit juice is crazy.
Dude,
Like,
his
have
He's
you ever
cum
always
had
has
a
to
got
be
drink
very
that?
healthy.
yeah,
Is it
exactly.
healthy? Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Good for your.
Tasty loads he's blowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, definitely helps. Um, he says something. Oh, it's like I'll have the grapefruit juice, and she's like with vodka, and he's like, no, straight. I'm one of the last straight ones. This is a good man. And he gets interviewed by this like radio guy, and he's like, I'm Jewish. I'm offended by this.
Yeah, that line was great. And so many actors that are so famous playing the most minor roles,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
one of my favorite parts about it.
What was that guy in? That guy.
Everything.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah. And a
Um,
great actor, great character actor.
right, and then okay, we talk about like wife finds his nudie magazines. He says, I'm a photography nut, honey. And then
Which
she
is a
sort of
great excuse.
right. It's like, okay,
Like,
how is
I,
that going to work?
I can
I felt
hear
like
Jared
it was
saying
like
that,
Charlie's
honestly.
uncle from Always Sunny, where he's like, "Oh, this is just tasteful photography," and it's like he just has child pornography at his
Yeah,
house.
it's horrible. And then she's like, oh, no wonder you don't look at me. And then she goes, I want those magazines out of the house. I've seen it before. I just ignored it. And then maybe you should speak with Father Donnelly. So it's like he's got to get this thing taken care of. This is a
And this is a
slippery
recurring
slope.
theme on our podcast is porn cheating conversation. We've talked about it a number of times now.
It
A
seems like
number
it's
of
been going on for a
times.
while.
At least in the voyeurs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is very
And I think one other
voyeurs
time.
copacetic. Absolutely. Um,
Copacetic, a nice word
Now,
choice based on the movie.
so you guys aren't familiar with any of like Hogan Heroes, like the cultural impact that show had, like besides of like, oh, it's edgy, that it's a World War II comedy set in like a POW camp.
it
No,
was
not
None of the
that
really.
it's just
characters.
funny.
Yeah, so this was the show, even though it was only like 6 years long, but that's typically what series
I think it
would
was like
run back then.
180 episodes or something.
Yeah, a shit ton. They would crank them out so much more. But
Good
Crank 'em
choice
out.
of words. Good choice
yeah,
of
I know you
words.
like that. But I'm so mad they didn't include this in part of the film because there's some really great catchphrases that are given through like that whole thing. They always go like, "Oh, Hogan," like that's the dumb one. Like
They do that.
Yeah, they
they
do
do
that in
that.
the
But no,
movie.
the one that is like the most memorable, it's Sergeant Schultz, who's like the fat German guy. I don't know if you saw him in the background. He didn't really have any like true lines in
Right.
it. But he would always say like when he was getting bribed or like basically like they would bribe him in the show to like so they could get away with antics in the
Right.
POW camp. I know nothing, I see nothing, I hear nothing. And
Oh,
I
that
love
would have
that.
been fitting
It was
too.
so I missed opportunity in this of like somewhere using that whether it was like him and Carpenter's Carpies like sex parties, like they could have done that because they all try
Right.
to give this like veil of like ignorance or veil of innocence that like they're not doing anything bad. This is just boys blowing off steam.
Interesting. That would have
Yeah,
been a good call. That would have been a good ad.
but yeah, but Hogan's Heroes like, and you could I guess I would say this level of like fame that Bob Crane had, it would be like similar like what Rob Lowe has on like sitcom television.
Mm.
Who's
I
Rob
think
Lowe?
Rob Lowe
Oh,
from like Parks and Rec,
also
from
notably
the
with a
West
sex
Low or
scandal,
West
correct?
Wing. I don't know if Rob Lowe had a sex scandal.
Yeah,
He
he
did.
has he
He
had a sex
yeah
tape, Luke.
yeah. He just during the West Wing or whatever.
No, I didn't know that. But yeah, he's like very big, kind of a hunk, like that mature DILF type hunk that people just loved and was just people all loved him because he played a hero on TV. So everyone would say, "Oh, well, Hogan's a
But
hero."
the show's like squeaky clean though, right? Like
Yeah,
families would watch
it's
it.
not like MASH where they would have like a cross-dressing soldier. They didn't really have. I think they had one black character. I'm trying to remember. They had one black soldier in it. So it had a little bit of groundbreaking stuff, but it was sanitizing. Like, oh, the Germans aren't that bad. They're just these goofy comedy guys.
Right, and then he mentioned the movie, like the controversy around the setting, like that kind of blows over. People, it's a hit. The show's a hit.
Yeah,
This was a hit.
So he's done it. They sort of like flash forward a couple months. He's on set. This is when he meets John Carpenter, who's fucking around with the British
the
guys,
British
like
dude
his like
Dawson. Yeah,
audio. And he talks to him. He's like, if you love photography, you'll love VTRs. And like you could see, oh, something's building here. Carpenter invites him to the strip joint that we mentioned. And you guys really enjoyed those places. You wish that those places sort of existed
I,
still.
I low-key
Yeah.
wish I had a Carpy type friend to introduce me to those places. I just don't need the filming. My iPhone 16 could be enough.
But
Well,
so
ironically,
well.
here's a take.
Uh,
Jared is the Carpy to Daniel.
right. If you don't have a Carpy,
I'm
you
the
are the
Carpy.
Carpy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the Carpy to me, I think,
I feel like
honestly.
you're my Carpy. You've taken me to more sketchy places than
That's
feel like-
not true. Well,
No,
we're
we've had our
striking that
fair-
from the record. That's some bullshit.
No.
I'm
I'm
Father
reflecting on
Donnelly,
this.
so
I'm thinking of Europe. I've taken you to some weird places in Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so he sits in as the drummer for the strip joint.
But he wanted
Yes.
to, didn't he? He volunteered. Can I go play drums?
And the guy walked up to him and he's like, the guy who's the drummer, when they took a break, he's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. Like, you want to sit in for me?
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Because he
sure.
heard him
And
play
he's-
on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess he was like sort of like a Howard Stern. I mean, he wasn't a shock jock, but like he was at a following.
Yeah, I remember.
Very-
People knew DJs back then.
Yeah,
DJs
it's
actually
weird.
had status.
And he's loving it on stage. Every time he's in the drum scene, it's so funny. His little smile on his face. The
Yeah.
smile he's got.
Yeah, smile.
John Carpenter has some good phrases throughout the film, and he breaks a couple of them out. He did the Miss Kitty, meow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Let's
said,
go into that real quick.
hold on.
Go on to your next one. Okay.
Well, another one he says during this scene, he's like, I love what you do. He says that a lot. And then he calls Bob Crane Big Daddy.
Which
throughout
is
the
so
film.
which goes
crazy.
forever.
Yeah.
So crazy.
And
The
there were a couple
meow.
other ones. Yeah.
Willem Dafoe might be the best villain cat voice to ever exist in humanity.
Meow.
If there's ever any cat movie that needs a
Oh, you really liked his meow.
meow.
He was
He's-
really good in this movie.
Oh, perfectly casted.
Yes.
Really good. And he looks, if you guys looked up the actual guy, they
Yes.
look similar.
Dude, both of them. Greg Kinnear looks very dead on to Bob Crane in his the 60s time. Bob Crane aged terribly in the 70s, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
No,
Kinnear's
Defoe was
it's perfectly
eating. And it's also
casted.
funny because Defoe,
What?
we're just stepping on each other a lot this episode.
We're
Defoe
excited.
also notably has a massive cock, which
Yes,
is a
which
funny little
I
thing.
was so disappointed there was not acknowledgement of Willem Dafoe's absurd cock.
Yeah, that would have been a great little
especially in
add-in.
the couch jacking off scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, John, go ahead. Sorry.
It didn't. Yeah, I guess John Carpenter might have not had one like that.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, there's been Willem Dafoe movies. I'm trying to remember which one where there is a frontal nudity scene and they actually had to give him a prosthetic.
Last Temptation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
Last
we go.
Temptation. And they're like,
Yeah.
we have to do something. We have to put a prosthetic that takes away because it's too unbelievable.
Aggressive of a big cock.
Could you imagine?
It's really
he's
funny.
Great. He's great.
God gifted him with the weird face, but big cock.
Right.
And
sort of
incredible
played
actor.
off.
Yes, that's the biggest talent of them all. That spreads to the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
But as you know, I think the casting of them two, it on paper doesn't seem like it would work. They're so different. But it's sort of like a budding friendship. I mean, okay, forget that they're fucking creepos. But
No, it's beautiful. It's kind of cute.
They play really well together.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
I think that's pretty awesome. Bob has another scene in the diner with the father. I think this is one of his last attempts to try to get back on track.
Yeah.
He admits that he's been playing at strip clubs, and then a girl walks up and he takes a picture and is totally distracted. She's like, this
But the
isn't going to
priest
work.
was jealous, man.
I don't think so. The priest was concerned.
No, wasn't the priest asking like honestly to hang like for like Bob to like invite him low key to these
No,
places?
No, I don't think I caught
he
that.
wanted him to play with him and his band just to like go play with his church group, whatever. He didn't want to
Yeah,
play
he's
at the
like,
strip
if
club.
you really are in it for the love of the drums, play drums with me instead of going out to the
Uh,
clubs.
And he
I was
said,
taking it that like the priest wanted to go to the strip clubs and
no
feel innocent about
way.
it. That's how I took it.
Yeah, so Bob continues playing at these strip joints, and at one point, Carpenter, it's like, I guess it's some time had passed. John Carpenter catches up with him. He's like, let's go
In
back
the
to my
dressing room.
pad. Yeah, in the dressing room. He's like, let's go back to my pad. You wouldn't believe the new equipment they sent me. So they get these two strippers to join them. Um, he's
Which
like, Bob,
I'll jump in at. Okay, go ahead.
go jump in, jump in.
The new equipment thing and the earlier mention of VTR is one of my favorite parts about this movie is the history of filmmaking that it gives you along the way.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that that is like it one, it encourages you to reflect on the medium that you're taking in as you're watching it. Like, oh, this is a movie and like this is how this progressed, this art form progressed. But also it's like clearly like Schrader is like Schrader's no joke. And so like he clearly is like sort of doing an homage to this medium that he loves through this
Right.
character of
Like
Carpenter.
home
And
movie
like
video
Schrader
equipment.
notably is like a pretty horny guy. Like I don't know if you guys have seen his there's like a Twitter page that's dedicated to posting his Facebook posts. And his Facebook posts are
No.
like completely unhinged and like sexualizing Taylor Swift and like
What?
talking about how, oh, I wish I could smoke more cigarettes through my oxygen tank. Like
He's a
like
legend.
long screeds and like really fun shit. And like so it like he really like puts
There's
himself
a
in this
bit of
really
him
well.
in this almost.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you think he has his
100%.
own Bob Crane style collection?
I know that well, so I also read on the Wikipedia that the dominatrix thing is not part of Bob Green's biography, but is instead part of Schrader's biography. That
Oh.
he has experience with dominatrixes.
Um, Here's something I have to take here. So I was thinking a lot about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino film,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
you know how that was just a big homage to like '60s Hollywood life, which I did its justice and its fair share of like how they had to push a narrative, like how to push a story with that. Um, I thought this did such a better job of capturing like how it felt in '60s like mid-tier Hollywood. These were not A-list stars. This is what life was as a, syndicated television star, and like probably the real like difficulties of like keeping relevance after your show's not there, and like how much weight you can still pull in society, and like from the diners to the strip clubs to the after parties and all the pool parties, like just felt it, man. I felt how real this was. Where Once Upon a Time in
Mm.
Hollywood, it's a lot of that Tarantino flair to it, where there's like member berries put into it. And
I
also,
agree
Tarantino wasn't
100%.
part of that ever. Like Paul Schrader existed in this world, kind of.
Yeah, he did. 100% he did. I couldn't agree more. And I will note that maybe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is, or whatever the fuck it's called, is derivative of this one because it actually, not only are you right that it attempts to capture the 60s, but it also ends in a like notable tragedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
Tarantino, that
I
fucking,
thought from the beginning that Bob was even dated for the 60s. Like, he was the clean cut, the trying to be perfect, trying to put up the facade. Like, he almost got that from the 50s. And
yeah.
he holds on to that facade, like, throughout the 60s, and that it lasts. But then, right, he gets in the 70s, and it's like, it's cracking at the seams, right? It's just not
right.
working.
He makes that comment about not going back to radio because he doesn't like rock.
Rock, right.
Well, I think he wanted to become like a Johnny Cochran,
Which Johnny Cochran?
Yeah, I don't know that either.
the famous TV show guy. Here's Johnny. Wait, like the most famous late night. Oh no, Johnny Cochran's the attorney for O.J. Simpson.
Or O.J.
Uh,
Simpson, yeah. Maybe he
um,
wanted to be like him.
Johnny Carson. Johnny
Oh, Johnny
Carson.
Carson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Cochran. That's a good
Yeah.
short there. He wanted to be like OJ's defense attorney. Um, Incredible. No, but I think that's what his goal was, and he did have like I think in like his last year of like 74 or 75, he had like a short run like late night slot. that just
Yes, I
Really?
think I saw that
died.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, which that's ultimately like what any TV star who had some relevance in comedy and was like got their foundations in radio or like conversational type sketch shows. Like that's what their ultimate goal is. Can I just become a late show host?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, and maybe there is a universe where he pulls it off, but surely wasn't this one based on his
Well,
actions.
it was also crazy how well known his like porn collection, him showing people. Like I feel like the film kind of skipped over that a little bit, maybe, or maybe I just didn't catch it. Like I didn't think he was showing that many people, or was that well known that he's like had this just
Well, I
giant
like how they
collection.
just allude to it. I feel like that's a good technique where it's like his agent brings it up to him. He's like, "Is that true? You've been showing people your, photo collection?" It's just like he doesn't think it's bad. Like it's not even worth them showing that in the movie or whatever. He thinks it's whatever. Like, oh, it's just having fun. Don't be prude. But it's actually fucking creepy.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
mean, that's later on. That's when he's really off the deep end.
Yeah,
Um,
let's go. Let's go back to that. We talked about when Carpy brought him over for the first party with the
Yeah,
strippers,
let's do
right.
it.
because I think that
It,
that showed a quick character transformation from there.
yes, because he doesn't. He's not interested in. He doesn't seem like committed to the. He doesn't even realize what. Like I got to pick a girl when Carpenter's like, oh, freshen up a drink for the girls. He doesn't even. He's
Yes.
like, huh? He's like, which
And
one do you
then
want?
he
He's like,
like
I
pours
don't.
vodka into his juice in order
Mm-hmm.
to assist him for the first time
So
around.
I
Yeah.
guess this is what switched from him being just like a voyeur to, because he
Oh,
definitely enjoyed watching them. He definitely enjoyed like having it on print, to now becoming an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
yes. Somebody who partakes and he cheats on his
Yes.
wife and he asks if he can leave the lights on. He's still being a
Yes,
little
which that
corny.
was actually that really hit me because like not
Why?
in personal experience, not in personal experience,
Oh,
but like you can tell that he's sexually unsatisfied by his wife. And
which Rita
the thing that
Wilson's
he
beautiful.
wants, the thing that he wants isn't like a hot chick or like something crazy. The first thing he wants is can we get the lights on, which is like the most tame ask. Like that's the fantasy when it starts is just I want to see you when I fuck you because my wife won't let me see her when I fuck her.
Mm,
And then it begins, you know? It's crazy that that's his ask.
like the repression.
Yeah, like
Or
the lack
He's
of
off the deep
satisfaction.
end.
he's a visual gratifier,
Yeah,
which goes
100%.
into all of his medium of how he gets his eroticism is by seeing it.
Which, dare I say, Schrader's a filmmaker, you know?
Yeah, and then we see a quick scene after that where they're then picking up more girls at the strip joint. They're like, "Let's do this again." And
Mhm.
Carpenter's introducing himself as Bob Crane's manager. He was like, "We're throwing a party later," and these girls are like, "Oh, a party! Like we're in." They show up to the house and like their face is like, "Where the fuck is the party?" But it still
And then they
works.
still fuck him. Yeah.
And then
So
they're
I wondered that, like, where was it a power play? Did these girls just go in like assuming they're going to bang that night, or was it the Dennis Reynolds Always Sunny, the implication?
well, they probably, they're excited to see Bob Crane. He's a big TV star. But they're also like, oh, maybe there's a party involved too. Like we could do, they
You
probably
know,
didn't want to.
you know, be a great Schrader film he should make on the similar to, like biopic, a Cosby one.
I mean, that's not really his style. We'll later. We'll talk about it later. One other thing I want to note is
Couch
we
number two.
often uh, Tim often makes fun of me for with the way I speak about women in movies, how I don't show any interest when there's a blonde main character and I do when there's a brunette. And there's a funny back and forth in this
Yes,
movie between Carpy and the other guy's name?
Bob
Bob
Crane.
What
Bob
Bob
Crane,
Crane about like
Johnny
Carpy
Cochran.
wants the blonde, and at first Crane lets him do it, but then Crane falls in love with the blonde girl on set, and then all of a sudden he wants the blondes, and Carpy is all upset, but he can't really do anything because it's Bob Crane. And I just thought that was really funny because of my personal preferences.
Uh
Like
huh.
I would be that guy. I'd be like, no, I don't want the blondes.
Carpenter
I'd be like,
says,
for
well, Carpenter likes the blondes.
right, it's inverse, but still,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but you can tell Bob's sort of stepping in. He's like,
strong hair
hey,
color preference.
Bob's saying, "Hey, they're here for me. Like I get to pick." Now he's asserting himself a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
okay, and they also are recording them secretly, and they watch it back later on the couch. And Bob is like, "This is great," and you're like, "Okay, this is strange." He goes, "We got to burn this tape." And he says, "How much does it cost?" And then it cuts to him having his own video camera.
To
His
film
wife's
his
like, "What the?"
kids.
For his kids, and his wife's
Bro,
like, "When are you
what a
going to use this?"
risky game he was playing in like
Yeah.
Incredible.
oh my gosh. I was just balls to the wall. Like today we have our ability to like have hidden albums or whatnot and be able to sort your dirty stuff. Dude, back then all you're relying on is a piece of masking tape with a smeared marker.
Yeah.
I mean, just insane. He's filming home movies.
It's also crazy to think because any of those kids could unravel that, put it up to the light, like the film, and see what it is.
Well, it's asserted later, or said later, that one of the kids did see the films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's really loose. Like he's just not thinking about his family at all.
No,
It's the
not at
fame. He
all.
feels invincible.
Yeah. And
Um,
maybe it's a meditation on stardom, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, his wife ends up leaving him for the variety. He's not there, not present, the
yeah,
porn. And then he ends up marrying the blonde actress. I'm blanking on her name, but
Patty.
they call her name's like Hill. Oh yeah, Pat. What is it?
Patty.
Patty. Patty.
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Patty.
And it's crazy to think. And I wonder how often this happens, especially with Hollywood couples, like these marriages where like someone with so much history and like baggage with them, but yet they think that this new chapter is going to change the person. Of course, she might not be aware of his whole filming stuff, but
No, she
like,
was.
Right, but
She was very
she's
aware.
well, she's a modern. Well, she's aware that he's doing it. I don't know if that he's filming it like without their
Oh, maybe.
permission.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And he's like, "Oh, it's going to be a modern marriage," but like even for then, this is crazy.
This is like 2025 modern.
Yeah.
wait. So did they have the agreement that they're basically a polyamorous like couple? Like she could have her
Open would
boyfriends, or
probably be the word I would use, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, because polyamorous means like you have relationships, not just like one night stand filming.
Right. Right.
There are a couple
Did
just
he film
points.
her?
I don't
I
think
don't think
so.
so.
I was
He'd
trying. Okay, I
respect
was
her.
wondering.
There are just
Interesting.
2 points I want to touch on of when they're in their debauchery phase, where they're watching movies. They're watching like them fuck on TV again. John Carpenter and Bob Crane, and he's like, "What's that on my ass?" And he's like, "That's my hand."
Yes.
I love
He's
that.
like, "Rubbing my ass. You got your fingers up around my cheeks."
No
And
finger
he's
in
like,
my
"I thought you.
asshole.
I thought it was her." And he goes, "Bob, I said I'm sorry. It's a group grope."
Yeah.
Group grope. I feel
And
And
like
he
that could
Bob,
be.
freaks out at that stage at Carp. He's like, "Don't talk to me. You're a fruit." And he continues playing up the fruit thing for a long time throughout
Do
the
you think
movie.
he's like repressing like his bisexual identity?
well, it's
Yeah,
like the
I'm
sign
gonna
of the
get to it.
times. It's the sign of the times where these guys can like openly have like borderline homosexual
It's not borderline.
activities. It
It's not
is.
borderline.
They're jerking off on the couch next to each other, though.
Right.
Yeah, they're just
But
gay.
God
Okay,
They're
for
just
but they
they're
here's
just
a question I
legitimately
have. Is that okay? Because this was always like the rumor in high school. We had a basketball team that it had a Bob Crane type basketball coach who filmed his players in the locker room. I think I've made you guys privy to
your
that story.
basketball team?
Yes, yes. You've met some of the victims of this actually.
yeah.
Um,
I'm familiar.
I didn't know about
yeah.
this.
We'll talk more in the comment section. If you want to hear the story, I'll feed us comments. I'll help give you the direct links to the whole news articles. But anyways, there was a whole thing about like the basketball players or these sports teams playing the game cum muffin, where they would all do a circle jerk and ejaculate onto a muffin or a Pop Tart or something. The last one to come would eat it. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know if that part's true or not, but like there's definitely like group masturbation going on in the locker room. So take out the muffin part of the story. Is group masturbation gay?
Yes. And I'll
Yeah.
go one step further. These two guys are, and this is my thesis for the movie, these two guys are in love with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Carpy's definitely in love with him.
completely in love with each other. And I think things would have gone very differently if they just fucked each other.
Bob
Absolutely.
Crane probably might still be here.
Like, I think that they were expelling their interest in each other into women. And like actually what they're getting off with when they're fucking these women together is that they're doing it together and the women have nothing to do with it. And the
Mm.
way that it's like, oh, do you want a sandwich? They're calling each other, checking up on each other. Like they're a gay
Right.
couple. They are
Why do you think?
Yeah.
legitimately a gay couple.
Why do you think?
And that's why
What?
fucking Carpenter kills him because he's like, you can't just fucking break up with me like that.
Oh,
Like
wow, that's
100%.
crazy.
Like they're
Why do?
jerking off together, they're touching each other. They are like, oh, I'll change my work schedule to be with you on tour. Like it's more about the two of them than it is about anyone else.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you think?
And
I don't
also,
know.
as a man who's fucked men, I would never jerk off with a
Oh.
man. I would never.
Oh.
That's
Hell
too
yeah.
fucking gay for me. That's too fucking gay.
But would you jerk off a man?
Yeah, I would, but I would never jerk off with another dude.
Hmm.
Like that's just weird. If like
Interesting
you're
difference in your
boys,
perspective.
if you're friends, that is fucking weird.
Right, absolutely. It's strange. And they're
So
like talking about it on the couch. They're like, this makes me harder than the size of Florida. You know,
I
these whole
love that
movies make
term.
me
I love
hot.
that. Group grope and larger than the size of Florida. I like that. And meow,
And he's like looking at the
pussycat.
size of his cock and he's like, wow, it's bigger now. You got that enhancement.
Oh,
Oh, we
that's
totally forgot about
crazy.
that. The experimental like penile enhancement.
And they're
I
just
didn't know that
whipping it
existed
out.
in that technology that age.
And
And
obviously, and this is also why Carpy freaks out when he makes that like montage video with
Yeah,
the
with the
banana.
banana.
That's why
Yeah.
Carpenter freaks out then. He's like, don't fuck it. You and I are like, don't call
This is
me gay.
platonic. We're just friends. Yeah, like I don't want to be. Yeah, they're in denial. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because if they were just born 30 years later, they wouldn't have been creeps, probably. They would have just been lovers.
Happily married, honestly. Like they match made in heaven,
do you
as you
think
said
Paul
about their acting
Schrader?
as well.
Okay, I don't know if the evidence exists, like if these guys ever did have any like a homosexual relationship at one point or another, and it seems like Carpy probably would never admit that later in his life, even though he would never admit to even murdering the guy, even on his deathbed. Do you think like if I maybe Paul Schrader didn't like dip into that because there wasn't any true evidence to back it, but do you think like at the time this film was made, like people were ready to even think about this as being a option that like Bob Crane was just a like
In the early
repressed gay man?
2000s.
Yeah.
You
Or
can
you
be
think
Well,
it was
I
sure.
will
Like,
say that one of Schrader's other very famous movies is a series of, and it's about Mishima. Are you familiar with Mishima?
nope.
no.
He's this Japanese author who's written some very famous books, but at one point he created a militia to try to overthrow the Japanese government
Oh,
and
yeah,
ends up
yeah.
killing himself by seppuku. But he's like he's a gay man, a
Oh.
very macho gay man.
Yeah, Schrader
And
seems interested in those types of characters.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that'd be I wonder how much more bold this movie would have been if that would have been a bit more like explicit that they did have some type
I
of
think it would ruin it
relationship
if it was
fit.
more explicit, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I think it was handled very well. I kind of like that because it keeps it very open ended for interpretation, which goes against some of the things I said in my previous review of The American. That the open endedness kind of upsets me a little bit, but I think in this way, it's much more artistic and tasteful.
Mm,
And it's a biopic, so you have to keep it within some guardrails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, it's this point in the
they
movie,
break
things
up
are.
after the group grope argument.
Yeah,
They break up
there
for a
are
little bit.
two. There are just 2 points I want to talk on
Wait,
here.
one
He
more
has
thing about the gay thing.
yes,
The other thing is Bob Crane says you have to stop hanging out with that other guy.
Dawson, yes.
yeah.
And then
He feels threatened by Dawson.
and Carpy's a little bit sad about it, but he decides to do it. But you can tell he still wishes he could hang out with that other guy. It's just another piece of the puzzle. Okay, sorry. Go
Wow. Oh
ahead.
my God, I really didn't see that when on first watch. Good catch.
Yeah.
Um, there are two other points I want to talk on here where there's these. He goes on this montage about titties. And did you guys catch this? Or he goes, I'm a normal red blooded American man. I like to look at naked women. I like breasts, any kind. I love them. Boobs, bazoms, balloons, bags, bazongas.
The bigger the
He really
better.
goes off. What?
He says at the end, the bigger the better
Where
is
did
the
he
last
say
Oh
that?
line.
Was that
yeah.
on a that was on a TV interview, right?
No, that's later on. He
No,
says
that was
balloons,
just
but
like a
yeah,
voiceover.
yeah, voiceover.
Oh, I forgot. There was a lot of voiceover. I didn't know if I liked that or not.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
It was
up
it
until a
was very
point.
weirdly
I'll admit.
timed.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if we skipped it, but there is a dream sequence.
Well, no, that's right up next. About to touch on the
Okay,
dream sequence
okay.
where this is where like he's getting really overwhelmed. He's really he's only focusing on women. He shows up late for this taping of Hogan's Heroes. He walks in and the scene is turns green. And he goes, all I think about all day is sex. And, it's like in the scene of the show, but it's very clearly about him and his, like, this,
Oh yeah.
this crossroads he's at. His family shows up. Well, Patty first, like, is like, oh, you could take me right here. Like, we'll have a threesome with these guys.
Yeah, Colonel
And then
Clink and Schultz are there. I thought that was really funny.
the shades open and it's his family and his dad's like, or his son's like, go for it. Like, go balls deep, pop.
Balls deep, yeah.
Just an insane sort of like um, daydream to have. And then it cuts back
Really
and he's
well
in.
done.
Yeah, I thought it was well done. And then
Yeah.
he's just like totally out of it. Um, this is actually right after that as he goes home, his wife like found the dark room of like all the pictures and she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Hard cut to he's married to Patty now. Um, and the show's off the airwaves. But Anne got the house, the car, custody of the kids, and Patty's pregnant, even though he has a vasectomy and he didn't save any money. So
It
he's
leaked,
just
he
like,
said.
he's it leaked. And he goes, it leaked?
Who's
Thought
that
that
football
was
player that
funny.
the same thing happened to? Is it Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, I don't know.
Marshawn Lynch has had like 7 vasectomies and he has 13 kids or something like that.
I
Man's
didn't know
the
it.
man's the Terminator. It just keeps
I think it's Marshawn
regenerating.
Lynch. It might be someone else, but I'm pretty sure it's Marshawn Lynch.
You might have done a racism here, dude.
No, it's definitely a black football player, but I can't remember who it is.
You've narrowed it down.
I'm pretty sure it's Marshawn Lynch. Someone Google.
You can Google that.
Well, Bob's just a failure. Like the mortgage is eating him alive. He's drowning in debt. Um, he's not going well, but he's just going back to drumming. Like he's back in the club. And this is actually the scene where Willem Dafoe is trying to pick up a lady, and he's got a watch, and he goes, "You know what
Love
time it
that.
is?" And
Oh,
then
that
a
was
little
crazy.
image, and it says, "It's fuck time."
I thought it was
She's not
fuck
into
o'clock.
it. It's no, it said it's fuck time.
Okay.
She
Which
wasn't
great piece of
interested.
technology if this was like
I mean, I
1972.
guess that was supposed to be impressive, but
I
she
was
wasn't
impressed.
impressed.
Hell, if someone showed me that today, I'd be impressed.
It didn't work. And then that woman's a dominatrix. She like tells Bob that.
Antonio Cromartie
Oh
Oh.
yeah, Antonio Cromartie has a lot of kids,
and
and he like
multiple
does. Oh,
vasectomies.
that's a bad interview. Like they interviewed Antonio Cromartie, and they're like, "What are all your kids' names?" And he can't get like he can only give like five of them. It's really sad. It's really
That's
really
so
sad.
good.
Um. So this is yes, penile implant. Penile enhancement is revealed. Oh well, he starts doing
Dinner
the
theater.
dinner plays, which looks terrible. Looks like a terrible show. They keep
Yeah.
showing the same scene over and over again, and he's just like
I
phoning
can't
it
find
in.
my wife. I don't remember what my wife
He's like,
looks
I
like.
don't remember.
And it
Which
It's
gets
just
I
the
don't know
terrible.
if you ever
acting
been
gets
to dinner
progressively
theater.
worse.
Dude, they are bad. Dinner theaters are bad.
It
And
seems
how his,
horrible.
his delivery of that line gets worse and worse. I think that's
Hmm.
like a really nice touch.
Yeah.
It kind of like mirrors his spiral.
Originally, his
But
wife was in the cast with him.
It's perfect. That
yes,
whole repeating motif is perfect. Perfect.
yeah. And so the wife's going to be in the movie with him, but he's like, oh, she's got to stay for the baby in L.A. And then he drops her off at the airport with the baby, and then like immediately runs and finds John Carpenter like getting off a plane. So again, to Daniel's point, where it's like these are lovers,
Also, great logistics timing in an age without cell phones. Think of
Oh
right?
my
that.
God, every time this guy in the soft bus, they find each other
Logistics.
without chocolates.
You didn't have the
impressive.
Delta app to check when that flight's coming in. You had a board
I
that was
know. You have to
manually
look at the
changed.
big board and go.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. So what can we say
They go
next?
on a
Oh yeah,
montage, their dinner
he
theater stuff.
well. He gets an offer from Disney to do Super Dad, which and then
Is that a
John
real
Carpenter's
movie?
offended.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the trailer. I watched the trailer. It's terrible. I mean, it's horrible.
Nice.
John Carpenter's offended by it though. He's like, so much for our big plans.
Right, because he's mad that what they stopped touring together, basically.
Yeah, he liked that he was touring with him. His manager then warns him that there's a serious problem with your lifestyle and your career. Sex is not the answer. And then Bob goes, I know, it's the question. Yes is the answer. He says that. He's kind of
A day
aggressive.
without
And
sex
then
is a day wasted, as they say
it's just
over
like
and over and
very, and
over.
like those are corny lines, but they're just regurgitating them. Like it feels dated when they say it, even when in the 70s or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
it's drug addicts. It's addict behavior, right? Like if you heard someone say that about
uh,
beer, you'd be like, "Geez," you know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when,
Now here's a
there's
question,
more.
actually.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go for it. Go
So
for it.
we've thrown around the diagnosis of sex addiction. We're also talking about possibly like repressed homosexuality. Do you think there are other things going on in Bob Crane and John Carpenter's heads that are leading to this behavior? Like, are they sociopaths or
Well,
that sort of thing?
I think I think the film title of Autofocus is telling in that it's not really about his addiction, more of like, well, it's not his addiction to sex or whatever. It's his addiction to himself. He's only focused on himself, doesn't care about anybody else throughout this whole movie. He's like only out for his own
Yeah.
interests.
Bad
And
friend.
so, like, that's what eventually drives him to this, like,
Well, and
just
so
disaster.
I think you gave me the answer I was looking for, John. And so you might think he's then a narcissist if autofocus is the
Uh
thing in
huh.
question, right? And so this leads me to a sort of a discussion question that proves the narcissism point, which is could you jerk off to a video of yourself fucking someone?
I mean, I just can't even imagine the
Well,
situation.
Imagine you have the video. Could you do it? Could you get hard to yourself?
yeah.
Am I featured prominently?
Jared says yes. Yeah, feature prominently, like the images that he was looking at.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I'd enjoy that.
Yeah, I'd be like, I look like that. My back's that hunched. I'm that pale. I'm that skinny. Like,
Right.
I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't
I
get it
don't get
up.
that self-conscious about
I'd
me
be
with that.
critiquing my
Like,
form, you know? Or like, why is he
Jared's a
making that face?
narcissist.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Bless you.
yeah, I think that's my thesis is that he's a narcissist. Yeah.
my
Very
back is
interesting.
hurting.
Because like, I could not, like, I look at a picture of myself with clothes on and I'm repulsed.
Uh huh. Yeah, no,
You got to
I
learn to
totally
love
get that.
yourself before you can make love to yourself.
True.
That's a good short there.
I'm glad we
Stop
got
with the
clean
short
audio of
cause.
that.
Stop with the short cause. Okay, yeah. So things are flying off the edge. He's editing videos all the time. His wife's like, "You're hardly home, and when you are, you're downstairs editing your videos." I mean, this guy's just.
Dude, he's like a 14-year-old just jerking
It's
off all the time in the
it's
basement.
like if the internet existed and he had access to it, it would be horrible. I mean, he would just do deplorable things.
Is he
Yeah.
a quagmire?
He's a gooning legend. I mean, he's like an original gooner.
But
Or
gooning refers to a
quack-
specific tactic, right?
Sure.
It doesn't just mean chronic masturbator.
Right, but you can have a cavern, a cave, goon a
Dude,
cave,
my
where
my
you're.
nephews had a rap battle
Right.
the other weekend when I had them over for a little party, and I had
You
them.
have parties with little boys.
Yes,
You had a
we went
rap
canoe.
battle? I can't believe
There's a
it's
rap
2008 again. This is crazy.
dude. I had them do a rap battle on the karaoke machine, and the one nephew told the other like all you do is goon in your room and beat off. And his rhyme was terrible. But this is like a seventh grader saying this to a freshman. I lost my shit.
Ruthless.
I lost it.
That's crazy.
Bob Crane then goes on a celebrity cooking show. I mean, this was out of pocket. This
I love
scene.
this scene. I was
He's
trying to figure out
acting
if this
this.
was real or not.
It couldn't have been. He brings a pasta dish, but he's like, I don't know. They told me to bring this. Like, he's just in another planet. He goes, you got a balloon smuggler in your audience today. And he says, if you want to remove wrinkles from your face, just remove your bra. Really offensive, misogynistic things to say.
And to be saying
And he's
that
like,
stone cold sober.
That's the wild part. Like that's cokehead behavior, drunk attitude. Like
Like
he's
he's
just
deranged at
evil.
this point.
the
Yeah.
dopamine of sex has polluted this man's mind.
And
Well,
you can
and
see it's
so
in his like
imagine
facial features too, where he's drooping almost and is sweaty. It's like
he puts on
it's
weight
taking
near the end.
it's a
Yeah.
physical toll. He
And
says things to his son's girlfriend. He's like, "Wow, she's well built." Like two
I
in
love
front
that the
of
phrase well built to refer to like a nice rack. Like that's crazy.
like it's a horse or like
We should bring
a
that back. Well
thoroughbred.
Have
built.
you ever had a friend or family member say that about someone you were seeing? Well built.
No,
I've
not
heard it
those
before.
words.
I've heard well built, and I'm not happy about that.
That's fucked.
That's so
That's
like why
fucked.
are you hanging out with 90-year-olds? That's crazy. Well
It's
built?
a different time, man.
That's crazy.
Well, he's getting divorced again. Two
Wait, there's something.
divorces. Was there something else you wanted to say?
No, it's fine.
But like this at this point of the film,
About
like
the derangement thing. So
what?
you were saying John, like, oh, I was saying he's deranged, and you said the dopamine of all the sex is like fucked his brain up, basically, and that's
Yeah.
why he's acting that way in that scene. What do you think his body count is at this stage?
Yeah, does he have like a STD or something?
No,
Oh,
but
he
like
might have
I'm
gotten
just
syphilis. That's actually that would be an interesting thing.
maybe, but like I'm just saying, like if he's having sex, let's say he's on tour every weekend only. That's 2 nights a week. He's probably doing more. Let's say four shows a week.
What do you think this guy's body count was? Do you think
That's
over
what I was just
500?
asking
He
when
just
you had
asked
your
that.
headphones. Yeah,
Sorry.
you had your headphones out because you're getting
Bro,
chided
it's
for
I
saying well
mean,
built
it
about.
I don't know. He's going like to all these towns, like it's easily 250.
Yeah, like big
Dude, he
numbers.
I wish there would have been an intersection of him and like Wilt Chamberlain. That would have been
He's
interesting.
pulling like Love Island contestant numbers pre-Instagram DMs. Like
Bro,
that's
I saw a Love Island
crazy.
contestant in the Delta Lounge last week. It was wild. And he
That's
had
cool.
his like
That's
casting shirt from like that they give out to
that's
people.
embarrassing.
That's lame. That's beyond lame.
He was pretty ugly too. I was like kind of
But
shocked.
that's sort of what Bob Crane would do, like when he put on his own TV show in the bar. Like he wanted to
Baller
taste the
move.
girl he
I
walked up
kind of
to.
like, you know what? Sitting at a bar and this is like your way to pick up people, like a good tactic. I'm not saying it's like chivalrous, but it's very resourceful.
Yeah, I mean we all do our little things that highlight our best features.
Yeah, some people pull up their LinkedIn's, then just leave the phone screen up.
That's crazy. Some people put their bike account, like put it on the table or something.
Yeah, dropping the metal card accidentally.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Mm. Um, but
You
there's been
guys
a
have metal
total
cards?
shift. I do. I have one
Yeah,
metal card.
I
yeah.
do as
That's the
well.
problem. They let
I
any
mean, they're
poor
starting
get
to
it
do
now.
everything's metal now. They don't
I
care.
mean, it just
Everything's
feels so
metal.
much better.
I like it. I use
Um,
it as a box opener.
get back to the film. Think there's a definite tonal. There's a tonal shift at this point
A stark
where
one. Almost too
stark.
stark, in my opinion.
Well, no, it transitions pretty well. I
Well,
mean,
don't
we're going to talk
they changed the lighting?
Yeah.
certainly. The film starts with steady cam. Even the scenes are all perfectly manicured and clean. And then throughout the film, the lighting changes. It goes to handy cam, to these really just off kilter, like almost a fucking Michael Bay movie handy cam moving in and out. Like the scenes are totally flushed with these muted colors. Um, and it's obviously just reflecting the decay of Bob Crane up until this point. That's just good filmmaking. That's good
Yeah, it
shit.
is. There's a moment that it felt a little bit too abrupt, and I
Yeah,
can't remember when
probably.
exactly it
It's
is,
probably
but yeah.
around here. It's like there's like ominous music playing like
It was
throughout
after
the
the
end of
second
the film.
divorce.
Yes, right.
Because I think the second divorce is that like moment that's when the life truly spirals out of control.
Yeah, they're drinking by the pool, and he says, like, I did it once, and then I was stupid enough to do it again. I thought that was funny.
And he's like, he can't go back to radio. It's changed too much. Rock isn't his style. He talked about that. He's so behind on the times that the world's just zoomed past him. Completely lost it. And then Bob confronts John at a club. He's like, I'm thinking about getting out. The whole scene, dinner theater, the rest. And Carpenter's really offended by this because he knows that means he's dropping him. And he's like, "Oh wow, you don't even need Carpy. Betacam's out now. Like he can get his cameras in this fucking Circuit City. You know, he
Oh yeah,
doesn't need
Carpy got
John."
fired from his job. I forgot about
Yes, he
that.
got fired for being
For very John,
colorblind.
for very Tim Apple related reasons.
It's true. I am a little colorblind. I didn't see any problem with that film either that he was showing.
Did you not really?
That was no, I could tell it
Oh,
was green.
okay.
Um, and then he calls Bob Crane a loser, and he goes like, "I'm no loser. Bob Crane's a good guy." He's just in denial. And then Carpenter leaves him a very scary phone call. You know, he's drinking, and he's just like, "Have you? I want you to reconsider it." And he's like, "What are you, deaf? The fuck is wrong with you?" And he's like, "By the way, you want me to drive you to the airport tomorrow?" Like, he still wants to be buddies with him.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
like
it's a good
Daniel's
point.
take where it's like it's a breakup. Like that's really interesting. Um, and then yeah,
It's
Bob
very
gets
breakup
fucking
behavior actually to be like, "Oh, we're done, kaput," and then like, but I still want to be friends. I'll drive you to the airport tomorrow. Like I've been in two
uh
breakups like that, you know.
yeah. And then Bob gets fucking killed. He does not go to the airport with him. Bob gets killed in the night with the goddamn bludgeoned and then strangled with the cord or something.
Yeah,
Or
with
The
all
just,
cord I think
camera
is just a
equipment.
red herring, but yeah,
um, you know, and he goes, and then his voiceover comes on. He's like, Scottsdale was a small town back then. John essentially gets away with it. In real life, he was acquitted of this murder at trial later in 1994. They mentioned that like DNA tests were inconclusive, the technology just wasn't there, and then the evidence against him was circumstantial. Apparently, there was blood matching Bob Crane's blood type was found in John Carpenter's car, and then John Carpenter's swim trunks were found in Bob Crane's hotel room, but it was just not conclusive enough, and he lived a free man. So
and then
who's to
dies
say?
four years later after a heart attack.
And then dies in like 2000 or whatever. Died before
Yeah,
this movie came out.
yeah.
And it ends with men just gotta have fun. It's the
They all
last line
smile.
in the film. It's sort of really abrupt ending there. You're not handed any fucking roses. There's no lesson to be learned. I mean, sure there
Well, there's a
is,
big
but
lesson we learned, maybe, but
there's a
yeah.
big lesson. But none of the characters
There's
really.
not a lesson.
John watches this movie and
There's
goes, "Yep, all fine moral behavior."
well,
Poor
it's
Bob
like
Crane.
I think about biopics and listen. We saw Harvey P. Carr. The ending is always like look at all this. It all came together, and there's good news, and they drive off in the sunset. There's no reflection even really on like this is a bad guy. We don't really I mean the only consequences we see are is what happens to him. Obviously he gets murdered, but
All right,
it's not
I'm looking up.
beating it's not beating you over the head with it, to pardon the expression. um, so I think that's an interesting way to play on the biopic as well.
Yeah,
But that was the whole film. I think that covered the fucking gist of it, huh? um,
yeah, I would say so.
this was this is my first time seeing this movie. What about you guys?
Jared, you go first because I'm gonna have more to say.
So are we doing ratings right now, or are we just
No,
doing
just
like?
to
I
answer the
mean, your
question you
final thought.
asked.
Like, yeah, you don't need. Yeah, I was asking if this is the first time you'd
Just
seen
to
this.
ask,
So
yeah.
all right, I damn it. Now I'm trying not to make this my review.
No, if you
All
just
right,
have anything else to say, any other discussion points,
I got
whatever
that.
you
I
think.
got that. Uh,
He wasn't listening. That's why he's confused.
I think this movie probably is one of the best articulated movies of not just like
That's not
like
the
the
question he
mental.
asked.
What was your question? No. I'm saying like my final comment, not my
He
final
hadn't
comment,
seen this
but
before.
I've
Yeah, he
not
had
seen
not
this
seen.
before.
That was all that he asked.
I've not seen it before, and I
What were you gonna
honestly
say?
I'm kind of disappointed. I have not watched more Paul Schrader movies. This like I'm familiar with like he wrote for Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. Um, I'm forgetting what else he even did, but like Danny, you mentioned a ton of shit that he's worked on. I'm like, oh, I need to check these out. So thank you for introducing me more to the Schrader verse. Uh, but
You're welcome.
I really my follow up question on this is like, is there any other film that you think? And we've covered a lot of like sex heavy films, or
Yeah.
like or like issues with how whether it's pornography, swingers, just cheating,
You
voyeurism,
love
like
swingers.
this I think like captured like the challenges of like unhealthy sexual behavior better than any other film we've watched so far.
Certainly.
Yeah,
And it's real. That's what was like the best part about it.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm with you. I'm trying to like rack my brain of all the movies we've watched, but yeah, I think I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm looking. The other sex ones were like the voyeurs, clearly.
Decline of the American
Uh,
Empire.
the piano teacher.
No. Oh
Piano
Yeah,
yes.
teacher had
piano teacher.
That was
unhealthy sexual behavior.
yeah, you're right, you're right.
That one
That
I
one felt
think made
pretty
me
good
more.
too.
What?
That one was also pretty good at this.
That one made me more uncomfortable with like the actions. I mean, even though what they do in this movie is deplorable and like illegal and immoral, they don't spend a lot of time on it. You know, they
Another
just move on to the
woman.
next thing. When did another woman have like sex stuff going on? Oh, she cheated on her husband.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
Yeah.
think yeah.
It's in a, such a different. On Body and Soul had it a little bit.
No, that's healthy sex. Maybe another
Yeah.
round.
I don't remember another round having sex in it.
Both another round and on Body and
The
Soul, you
Flintst.
said had realistic sex, John, in a positive
Oh
way. You're
yes,
like, yeah,
Oh,
correct.
the Flintstones had all that sexiness.
true.
Yeah, with the toes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this captured it the best of like I it's a warning sign and it all starts at the church. The church could have kept him pure.
No, if the church would have
Absolutely.
could have kept him pure, he would have been pure.
No, but he had a falling out. He left the church.
Yeah,
Also,
but
I was reading some stuff like his kid Scotty, who ends up like handling his legacy and I think publishing the website of his like porn collection. Like said, oh, the movie like overplayed how much of a Catholic he was. He was like a keister, Christmas Easter guy.
yeah. Um, wait, something you just said though. What was it?
Wait,
Oh,
he was a
okay.
Christmas Easter?
Keister, Chris. You only go to mass on Christmas and Easter. That's a big thing
Oh yeah,
for a
yeah.
lot of like Christians.
Um,
We hate those kinds of Christians. We hate them more
so
than atheists, right?
Yeah, Danny,
Jared
go.
says that the turning point is when he turns away from the church. I guess my sort of related question is when is he beyond saving? Not to use the
Hmm.
Christian language, but I did. And is it him that leads him to it, or is Carpy actually responsible for this
Well,
change?
Carpenter
Carpy.
is the devil on his shoulder, right? I mean,
He's the serpent, which is funny because Willem Dafoe gives a lot of snake vibes. But he's the
absolutely.
serpent. Eat the forbidden fruit, which the forbidden fruit was not just the strip club. It was when the first like group sex they had with the strippers, and you saw like Bob try to resist it, but he gave in to
No, but he
temptation.
had made up his mind. It's when he agrees to go to that strip club and then go on stage, like that's that's the point of no return. You put Mentos in the Coke and you shook up the bottle. Just
Nah,
that.
I
Because
think
he knows
he
he
could
doesn't
have.
have self-control. He knows he doesn't have self-control because
I
it's
think
in
he
him.
believed
He's
he had self
urges.
control until the women were in that situation. I think this man could have probably pulled off being the strip club drummer for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I think a question like I think a lot of people would become sex addicts if they had the access. And a lot of
Mm.
people just don't
Well,
have the access.
I
And
don't think
so
he
he's a
realized the
normal guy
confidence
who
he
does
had.
pornography and like fantasizes about other women other than his wife. But rarely do married guys actually have the access. And often when they do, it's just one person and they take advantage of it. Like we know what divorce rates are, what they are. Men often will take advantage at the first opportunity at access. And then if you are a celebrity, and this is why a lot of celebrity marriages go south and a lot of celebrities end up having sex addiction, is because you have unlimited access to the
Yeah.
opportunity that you. And so, like,
Wow.
I mean, it's like the opposite of inceldom, honestly.
Mm. Excel.
Yeah.
And
Then
Carpy, when he
exceldom is
got
when you
that
have so much sex you need an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of it.
Excel dump. Well,
Excel
Carpy
bit.
was the one who made him realize like how his fame could carry over to getting that resource, the unlimited options.
Yeah.
I don't think Bob had the confidence or the narcissism developed at that point yet to understand
Right.
the power he had over people.
Right. But then he got a little success and people told him how great he was. And he's like, I can get away with this shit.
And he realized how easy it was. Oh, Hogan? Colonel Hogan? Okay. Like imagine how many
Right.
people I wonder how many people like he banged or photographed didn't even know who the guy's real name was.
It's like when they do the table read at the beginning, he's like, don't try so hard. Like you're the hero. Just be you or whatever. Like he
Which
gets that. What? Go ahead.
I think Jared might be wrong about the narcissism not being in him at the start, because that opening monologue where he's walking down the street, I'm a likable guy, and then it's like not clear to me that he actually is a likable guy.
He
Like
has no friends
even in the
really shown.
radio thing, it's like, is this guy likable or is he like kind of douchey?
Is he annoying? Yeah. Is he a
Is he
pain in the ass?
Like it
annoying?
doesn't even
Like,
seem
is
like
he
his
good for
agent
that
likes him in the
medium, but not
beginning.
actually good in person? And like when he does the table read and he's trying too hard, is that like sort of a glimpse into that part of him?
Mm.
Good point.
And like he's in that meeting and he's like drumming on the windowsill right after he says I'm a
Right.
likable guy, and that's like so fucking annoying to be like drumming on the windowsill, like, you
Yeah,
know?
he had ADHD or something. Like he needed to
This would have
calm
been
himself
interesting to
down.
see what his childhood was like because think of how much of like these sexual urges, this like immature behavior, like the drumming, the group jacking off, is this like an issue of like sexual development in like your adolescent years?
Well, I
That
mean,
would have been
that would
it.
actually, I mean, there's many, I mean, I'm not saying they're like rigorous theories, but there are thought people that think that the way that gay men take a long time to like settle down is because they're experiencing, and this is actually applied to most queer groups, is that you experience a second like adolescence when you come out of the
Mm-hmm.
closet. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So we're all
Well,
in agreement. Bob Crane was probably at least bisexual.
Yeah, at the very
right.
least bisexual.
Absolutely. Do you think somebody like Bob could get away with this today?
I think there's plenty of people like Bob getting away with this currently.
Like a Diddy,
Diddy's a
Antonio
good
Brown,
example.
Diddy,
Antonio Brown?
Ep- Epstein's got away with that
But
for
like
decades.
Tucker, like you can't even go to the
I don't think they could get away with the
massage parlor
level.
anymore.
I don't think they could get away with the level of like public party schmile type pictures without like with
Right.
being discreet about it. But if that
Yeah.
was their brand, like they could. There's probably at this point it'd be like just a celebrity that would have like a version of OnlyFans. Like that's their schmile is their gimmick.
Smile.
Yeah, I was
Schmile.
actually going to say something about OnlyFans. Yeah, I mean,
And that's also
there's
interesting
there's
how
that
many
one New York
willing.
Times article about how bad Pornhub is, and they talk about how like I can't remember the number, so I'm not going to give you a number, but there's a sizable percentage of um porn on Pornhub that is non-consensually uploaded. It's revenge porn,
Yeah.
and
Jesus.
or like that people are coerced into it with drugs or whatever. And so yeah, it's happening on a mass scale for the porn industry, you might say.
Mm-hmm. Because they even talk like they wanted to develop a porn.
Yeah, they
They
did.
Right.
that
That's
was
why
one
he
of their
gets, and he
goals,
gets the implant. That's when he gets the implant.
Which actually
which
reminds me
would
of
be
another thing
crazy
is
if
like
they're.
the more on the the history of filmmaking thing, like the part where they're like, we can tape Johnny Carson and watch it the next morning, and he sits there and goes, "Wow, I have to take a moment to let that sink in." Like that's a big change. The change from appointment viewing to video on demand, you know?
That is crazy.
Absolutely.
And then like he's at the fucking the porn theater, which can't even imagine. And he's, I think Harpy
So is he
films the
more of a
porn.
is he a precursor of like our modern time?
There that like the porn theaters and the jackoff theaters existed since the moment in the 20s when silent film porn could exist. Like
Right, but Carpy
those
goes to the
dens of
theater and
vice.
films it himself for personal distribution, which, as John is saying, is like
Oh, that
the
yeah.
the democratization of porn,
Mm.
which I
Goddamn.
never thought I would say those words. But yeah.
That's crazy.
Would Bob have lived a healthier life if Pornhub was available then? Like, do you think he would have pushed these urges, or do you think he would have still went down that
No,
slope
like
of power?
these
The
people,
power
like
is what got him.
it just like it's got to level up. There's always got to be another nut to crack.
Well, and
Did
then
they get into?
the same New York Times article about porn says that the whole operating model of Pornhub is to show you ever increasing um
Mm,
weird shit so that you have to start
right.
paying for the weird shit that you can't get elsewhere. That's like
The
how they
niche.
monetize. It's not the ads.
What's
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a similar article about like OnlyFans of like there's actually such a mass scale of people on OnlyFans and like just such a high vast majority of them like don't really have any followers or like earn any monetization, but like their content's now going to be out there forever, even though it might be
That's
behind a
crazy.
paywall.
It's like you can't be doing that if you got no people paying for it.
Okay, so I guess in our generation, because Bob, I think restart. All right, with like the transformation of like such publicly accessible porn and like so many celebrities like having some form of a sex tape. And like back in the 70s, like Bob Crane thought him having a porn career like possibly was viable, although he kind of shied away from it like with his potential Disney deals because he wasn't Disney friendly. Do we see like people who basically monetize their sex or monetize like their sexuality as like being as is it more career advantageous now than it ever was, or is it just because it's more available and there's more resources to publish it compared to the
Certainly.
70s? I think in the 70s the stigma actually wasn't as bad either. Like Sylvester Stallone's first film was a porn.
Yeah,
The
that's
70s were
interesting.
weird.
Yeah, like and then we look at like I'm going to use Kardashian as an example. Like her fame truly came from the sex tape.
True.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
always existed, and it was like just since then, I guess, since this time.
It's also crazy because then also like Sydney Sweeney's like fame came from like her sex scenes in Euphoria,
I mean, I would say
which
Oh,
although that's
most
not
interesting.
famous actors of either gender are famous in part for their sex appeal.
so I guess artistically rendered porn that's not just a straight up Pornhub upload like is not a career detriment as much as people would ever imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, you
Depends what
definitely
you
like
do,
there are
man.
definitely porn stars that have pivoted well, and there are others that don't, you know? And but I think the thing
Yeah.
that this movie captures well is sort of like the instability of stardom or the
Mm.
unpredictability of stardom. And this is true of porn stars and this is true of actors and actresses, is like when you're working in sort of a freelance type, I mean, it's not really freelance, but it's kind of freelancey. Or like even like Entourage captures as well, right? Is like you're always in search of the next job, and because you live such a like luxurious lifestyle, your cost of living is high. And so, like, when the career goes south, you end up having to do kind of like begging for
Desperate
money
moves.
type things. Porn stars end up doing this, like, and then actors do it as well, where like dinner theater or commercials, like fucking, there's this commercial I recently got on Hulu that's like, the Friends Courtney Cox and whatever the blonde chick's name is doing a
Jennifer
commercial for
Aniston.
fucking iPhone App Store video game. And because
Crazy.
they somehow, the same thing as Hogan's Hero, like syndicated show, millions and millions of dollars per year probably paid out from this, but they still need to acquire more. And they end up having to do so because they're old, they're bogged. They have to do these like embarrassing things for
Just
money.
yeah.
It's almost more about
Fun.
living outside of your means than it is about stardom, but yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Cool. To answer John's
Yep.
original question that started us on all of this, I had not seen
Have
this
you
movie
seen it?
before, and I'm a big Paul Schrader fan, so I was very happy that the push happened.
Oh,
Yeah, very
good.
happy.
Well, I think we touched on what we wanted to. Should we do little final thoughts
Yeah, his final
Yeah.
thoughts it up.
and
Who has
reviews?
next pick? Danny?
I do, so I'll go last.
I'll go first.
You go first.
Okay. So, in terms of Catholicism, great representation, love that. Fishiness, there wasn't much direct fishy. They did talk about potential of getting an aquarium at one point. I remember a comment on that.
Oh,
So there's some okay. I think it was Carpy was thinking of getting an aquarium, which he seems like an aquarium type guy based on his
And
like
Carp
house
is
layout.
his nickname, and Carp is a fish. So
oh
There you
yeah.
Yeah. Um, really
I
like
learned that
some
from
of the new terms
Pokemon.
I got from
Magikarp.
this group grope, meow. It's fuck time. Um, oh,
Big Daddy.
a day without Big Daddy. Day wasted or day without sex is a day wasted. Oh, Tim, you had another great one when he was talking to the agent. Is sex the problem? No, but it's the question, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Like these are all going to be potentially used in my relationship
Oh,
here.
lexicon. That's
That's
Yes.
good. I'm
alarming, but
glad.
Yeah. um, I mentioned this earlier. Beautifully captured time. Like this biopic, not just captured the person and his associates very well. Just there's not been a movie like this that I actually felt like I learned stuff about the time period in a very long time. Let alone like I guess I did not appreciate the history of what like the video capabilities were and the recording capabilities were, but like I did learn a little bit about that. I kind of wish I knew more about cameras to kind of truly appreciate it, but I do respect that like they did like seem like they were pretty accurate about that. We had a similar conversation about like weapons and guns in another movie with the American. Um
oh,
and that was
And they
sloppily handled. If you're going to talk about technical details of like some cool tech or tech like item that you're going to spend screen time on, get it right. And I felt like they get it right. I don't know if
mm,
that's true or not though, but I
I
felt
bet
pretty
they did.
convinced.
Yeah,
Willem Dafoe, holy shit! I don't did he get any? Did anyone get any nominations for this?
I don't think so. Well,
I
he
don't
did, but
know.
like for a minor film festival, San
Yeah,
Bernardino Film
dude,
Festival or something like that.
that is. I am shocked that like Dafoe did not get anything for this. Greg Kinnear did a good job, but like I think Kinnear had the easier job out of this. Because you're really just emulating a person who's well known, and all you got to do is just try to picture somebody that most American households are familiar with, and just do a little bit of a twist. Because like he was still doing the same gimmicks and shticks even towards like the third act, even after like he started spiraling, but like it was still the same character, just looked like worn and torn and being much more crass in his comments. Uh, Defoe, on the other hand, I truly felt like his desperation as a person, like you could truly see more and more in that even before leading up to like the murder and like him trying to look young and hip, like with his hairdos and like trying to stay relevant, talking to ladies. Um,
Yeah.
that was awesome. I kind of wish we would have dived more into him in his post firing and like some of those like scenes by himself a bit more. I would like that have been explored further. Pacing, great pacing in the movie. Never was bored. Never was put to sleep with it.
Good.
Uh, yeah,
It's a win.
we
That's a good point.
big win on that. Very well timed. Did not feel like he had any overly long runtime. Uh, Developed all his relationships with his wife. Established that pretty well. They could have done more, but I think that was good enough. The second wife, also great relationship establishment. One relationship I would like to see a bit more was the agent, because I feel like agents always play a bigger role in people's lives than this movie provided. I always try to think of Jeff from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I feel
Yeah.
like Bob needed that because Bob had no friends. It was Carpy and
Why would
probably
you
his
want to be
agent.
friends with a fucking creepo dickhead?
But like you want your agent to have your back. Um, Overall, I give this a 4.5
Wow,
out of
that's a high
5.
score.
Yeah,
It's high
it was
score.
pervy, but because the realistic like depiction of this pervy nature, um, this wasn't like a movie I would say people need to shy away from. Like you're gonna learn stuff, and it's like a more digestible piece than if like they try to do something like this about like Cosby or Epstein or even like P Diddy, because like they didn't like Bob's the antagonist, but he's also the protagonist throughout it. Um, at the same time, I think that's balanced very well. Whereas like you go into like an Epstein or Diddy or Cosby type movie, like you're gonna be what you're gonna. I don't know. Maybe it's just we were not aware enough about Bob Crane's problematic nature. It never just got like broadcasted as much after his death because it probably just that secret died with him very much.
Hmm.
Besides this film, uh, that it's a story that was worth being told and was told in a very well constructed manner.
There you go. Hell
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, so I picked this film and I hit it out of the park again. I mean, I know what the crowd wants. I know what the people want, and this was another banger. I think the filmmaking, c'est magnifique. In terms of what Danny thought was a little was abrasive, but the tonal shift from the beginning to the end, I think it was well done. I think it was played off well. Just love that Schrader is willing to do movies about fucked up guys doing,
Yeah.
struggling with their masculinity in whatever sense that is. I think it's important. Those are important stories to tell. And it was gross. I felt yucky by the end of it. I think it was good at that because these are yucky people. I don't like that they were pretending to film these women and then being like, "Oh, let me turn the camera off." He's like, "Oh, do you feel better? I turned it off." It's like, what a creep,
Yeah.
creepazoid. But also very funny. Some really funny one-liners that I will not be repeating in my life. But there's that. I'm giving this a 4.5 as well.
Damn.
Damn. I liked it.
Okay. Well, I love
Let's
Schrader.
hear it.
John, you did knock it out of the park. Like really good choice. Possibly your best, dare I say. And you have some of the tops already. Um, and I mean, what is there to say? It's really well done. It's well made. It is funny. Acting is really good. I'm with you, Jared, on Defoe's performance, but I would push back and say I think Kinnear actually does play his role really well, especially the decline and doing the same shtick, but hamming it up more. Like I think he actually sells
I would
that
say
quite
Defoe
Hmm.
well.
deserved a nomination at least. At
Yeah,
least he
yeah.
deserved a nom.
So acting's really good. It's funny. It was a crazy story. I think it really says important things without doing it, without spoon feeding it to you. It's not much more to say other than it's a little bit odd. I write down my scores before I give them, and you're not gonna believe this. My score was a 4.5 as well. So I'm a little bit shocked that
Damn.
we all
Go.
gave it
This
4.5s,
movie
which is
brought
pretty
us
funny.
together.
Yeah.
No one's breaking up
And
and getting bludgeoned to death after this.
and given our discussion from tonight's episode, I am calling an
Are you
audible at the
picking?
sideline, and I am picking 2017's First Reformed, directed by Paul Schrader. This is a Schrader podcast
Okay.
now, baby. Don't look up anything,
Hell
Jared.
yeah.
Seriously. But yeah, that's going to be our next film. We're looking
I'm trying
forward
to
to
see
it,
where it's
folks.
on.
And
And where can I
we'll
watch
see
that
you next
on?
time. I think it's
Oh,
everywhere.
wait, I got one final thing.
Okay.
Congratulations to Danny. We did not talk about the sexy woman in a bad manner this time. We were
I
very
never say it in a
respectful of
bad
how the
manner.
females.
The
Okay.
only chick that was
Well,
the only chick that I thought was really hot was the one very early on in the green button-down shirt. It was maybe the first
Oh,
chick.
there you go.
oh, well, we had a good run.
The green button down and her boobs
But
like close to popping out. We'll see you next
yeah,
week,
that was
folks.
that was
Thanks for
good.
joining. Bye.
Oh, bye.